Albert Einstein was one of the world's most greatest scientists. A genius and a magnificent thinker, Einstein was recognized by his successful work. But before the fame came upon him, he was just a little boy. Albert was born on March 14, 1879, in Germany. When Einstein was young, he was developing at a very slow pace and didn't speak until he was 2 years old. Mostly all of his teachers thought he would never be successful at anything. At about 5 years old, his father gave him a compass and wondered why it was always facing the same direction. That experience helped him to create a huge curiosity in him that had a big impact on the rest of his life. Einstein and his family moved to Munich, Germany, where he attended Luitpold Gymnasium Elementary School. I was the only Jew in the Catholic school, then attended high school. He disliked school and was trying to find a way to get out of it without hurting his chances of entering a university. Einstein withdrew from classes, which caused his parents to carry a deep concern about his future and being a school dropout. He, although pushed through and had high physics and math scores on his entrance exams, which enabled him to get into the Federal Polytechnic University. While going to school, Einstein met his future wife named Mileva Marek, but his mom intensely disliked Mileva and entirely disapproved their relationship. That did not stop him from being with her, and in 1902, Einstein became the father of his child named Lizerl, which was later put up for adoption. On January 6th, he married Mileva and had 2 kids named Edward and Hans. Unfortunately, the marriage was not successful and it only made Einstein depressed, which caused a divorce to take place in 1919. His second wife was his cousin named Elsa Lowenthal. In 1912, Einstein married Elsa, and she turned out to be just the girl he needed: caring, affectionate, and warm-hearted. Unfortunately, Elsa died in 1936 due to a painful illness. 1905, also known as Einstein's miracle year, had to be a very successful year in Einstein's life. He wrote and published 4 papers that were on the Brownian motion, photoelectric effect, energy relationships, and the most known and important, the theory of relativity. He also came up with the developing of atomic power, which caused him to create the equation E equals mc squared. In 1921, Einstein won the Nobel Prize for Physics. His ideas on relativity were uncertain, so he accepted his prize for the photoelectric effect. Einstein became very famous and well known around the world, which led him to do a lot of traveling. People started to label his work as Jewish physics because of the Nazis. Einstein became horrifyingly targeted to be killed. He then later got a position in Princeton and decided to spend the rest of his life working on a field theory. Lots of people felt threatened by Germany and had concern of the Nazis' creation of an atomic bomb. Still being in Princeton, Einstein enjoyed the idea of people having a free mind. He later became a U.S. citizen and worked on weapons. Einstein stayed working on field theory after the war and chose to stay away from too much publicity. On April 17, 1955, he noticed he had been suffering from abdominal aneurysm. He went to a hospital and surgery was highly advised, but Einstein refused to have it done. Einstein, being 76 years old, said that he has lived a full life and if it was his time to go, he will accept it. At the University Medical Center the next morning of April 18, 1955, Einstein had died. It requires a lot of hard work and knowledge to be labeled as a genius, but if there is anyone who deserves this title more, it would be Albert Einstein. Throughout Einstein's childhood, his teachers told him he would never make a success of anything. But as we know now, he has proven them all wrong. Einstein is considered the most influential scientist of the 20th century, and his legacy still lives on, and he is a very cherished person we know about today.